Hi everyone, this is Adit, and today I'm going to be presenting a very interesting session on leveraging real-time insights for a financial services application with Amazon Timestream. So, a little bit about myself. I'm Adit Modi. I'm a solution architect at Lauren, and I am also part of the AWS user group Vadodara, AWS community builders, and AWS ambassador group. So, I'm pretty well connected and part of different AWS communities. And with that said, let's get started with the agenda for the session. The agenda for the session is pretty clear. We're going to be first understanding the use case or why use a time series database and what are the different use cases where time series database is helpful. Then we'll understand or get an introduction about Amazon Timestream and also understand the different options when it comes to Amazon Timestream, namely live analytics and InfluxDB. And then we'll understand the use case for the financial services application and how using a time series database like Amazon Timestream can help. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So what is a time series database? So consider time series database as any data that is indexed by time, and it has data at or measurements of data at intervals of time. So for example, you have maybe something like a trading. If you are doing trading, there is a stock that you want to trade at a certain value. So there is a price of the stock that comes is available at particular time point in time, and then it varies over the interval of time, right? So let's say you're saying any of you're talking about any stock. Similarly, we can also talk about Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, its price in USD might vary at certain point in time, and then it could change after a certain point in time. So that's basically the trading stock analytics, then probably something like a Bitcoin, then something like an IoT data or something like a CPU or monitoring. Those are all your typical use cases where time series data is helpful, right? Because here there is data that is coming in at each interval in time, right? So Bitcoin price is coming at each point in time. It keeps coming after 1 day, 2 day, right? So that's going to be a use case for time series data. Now, an example of a schema of a time series data is as shown on the screen. You'll see there's a table. Then that table has one, a series, two, a timestamp, and three, a measurement value. So series is basically something like this is the particular thing that we're talking about. It has a timestamp, which is okay, the time at particular point in time, and then measurement value. So Bitcoin, it would have a particular measurement value at a particular time. Okay, so that's the schema for a time series data. Okay. Now, the few key characteristics of time series data are data writing, data querying, and data storage. Now, consider time series data to be a primarily write heavy data. So, it will mostly have real time data generation and not much updates happen after a post write. So, you're not reading much, but you're primarily doing a very write heavy operation for time series data. So, that's one of the characteristics. Second characteristics is data querying and analysis. So your querying usually happens upon times ranges, right? And it's mostly focused on the recent data. You are querying a certain time range, but mostly on the recent data. After 1 week or 2 weeks, it might not be relevant. It also supports multi-precision and multi-dimensional analysis. So that's about data querying and analysis. The third point is data storage. Now within data storage, it is usually the data that comes in for a time series data is a high data volume. So it's probably in TBs or um, PBs, right? So you always have to do a cold and hot data separation. So what I mean by that is you separate the data based on if it's new data or if it's something that you want, then you keep it in hot storage. If it's something that you don't want, you keep it in the cold storage. So time sensitive data, and you have to do a retention window. So you have to retain some data and you have to let go of the other data, right? So that's about data storage. Now there are three things, three characteristics: data write, data querying and analysis, and data storage. Okay, we move on to the next thing. So some of the basic requirements of a time series database are it has to have a high write performance. You need to have high concurrency and throughput. Two, efficient aggregation and querying. So low latency, needs to be there for large scale data queries because that is the nature of the database, right? You have to do querying at a very large scale. Then third is massive data storage. So you have to store a large amount of data, large volumes of data, and keep it highly available. right? And then the fourth point is distributed architecture. So it is essential that the database that we use has to have scalability and reliability. Okay. Now we come to the second part of it, which is Amazon Timestream. So what is Amazon Timestream? Amazon Timestream is a highly scalable and highly performant solution or database that can be helpful for a time series data. Okay, it handles trillions of events per day, automatically scales to handle varying data volumes. Key features are it has an in-memory storage for real-time, magnetic storage for historic data, as well as built-in query for optimized time series data. So it handles all of your edge cases. The two options when it comes to Timestream, one is live analytics and another is the InfluxDB. Okay, we'll see a diagram for architecture of Amazon Timestream. So the first thing is ingestion layer. So you ingest data from something like an IoT device, something like a trading platforms, and then you ingest it and then you store it. So storage is of two types: in memory for real time, magnetic for historic data, and then you query it. Right. So this is the purpose of or the architecture of Amazon Timestream. Right. The next thing is use cases for Amazon Timestream, right? There are four different use cases or multiple use cases for using Amazon Timestream for time series data, right? So one of them is IoT data analytics. You have real-time monitoring of sensor data. Then there is DevOps monitoring. So you have system and application performance metrics that you want to monitor. Third is operational analytics. You want to analyze operational metrics to optimize processes, right? And then fourth is the financial analytics. This is the use case that we were referring to when we said the time series, time-based analysis of stock, trading, and risk management, right? So now we'll look at the detailed financial services use case. So consider a major financial organization requires a real-time visibility into the trade data to enhance decision making and regulatory compliance. Right. So this is the use case. The solution that is using Amazon Timestream. Now, Amazon Timestream collects data. This is the trade data across multiple sources, including stock exchanges and trading platforms. And then you do a real-time analysis of this data. We used Amazon Timestream for instant querying, visualization, etc. Right. So this is an architecture of how Amazon Timestream is used for a financial services application. Okay, so you're getting the data from and the application has Kafka is going to gather the data from the application and put it into the Amazon Timestream. The Amazon Timestream then basically does store the data and then query it. Right now, the querying of the data relevant information is queried, and then you can visualize this information in something like a QuickSight or something like a AWS managed Grafana or something like a Grafana. Okay, so this is the options for visualization and reporting. The second part of it is you can also send the data to machine learning and prediction. So you send this data across to Lambda or SageMaker for doing machine learning predictions on this data, right? So this is the probably use case of using a time series data, something like an Amazon Timestream for your financial services application. So to use gather the data in real time, query store the data and then query it, right? So this is the use case. Where can you learn more, right? So you can learn more about time series data in this official documentation. You can learn more about Amazon Timestream in the links shared, and you can also refer to more community channels, more forums, and more blogs. Okay. So yeah, with that said, thank you very much for having me for this session. I hope you enjoyed the session, and do let me know if there's anything more that you would like to understand about time series data or about Amazon Timestream. Happy to help. Thank you, everyone.